Hey guys, Reese here from Psalm 71:17, and you're watching the book of 1 Samuel in 3 minutes. The book of 1 Samuel gives us more details about Israel's last two judges, a judge by the name of Eli, and of course a judge by the name of Samuel. Chapter 1 begins with a woman named Hannah vowing that if she were to have a son, she would dedicate him to God. God gives her a son, and she names him Samuel, and after she's raised him, she delivers him to Eli. We find one of the most famous accounts in 1 Samuel in chapter 3, when God is calling on Samuel as he sleeps. Chapters 4 through 7 tell us about the Ark of the Covenant being captured and eventually being brought back to Israel. Chapter 9 is one of the most important chapters in the book of 1 Samuel, because for the first time in chapter 9 the Israelites gain for themselves a king, a man by the name of Saul. Saul is anointed king in chapter 10, and we see from 10 through 12 that he begins as a good king. However, in chapter 13, he begins to make mistakes and actually offers up an unlawful sacrifice to God. We also see Saul make an oath that hurts the people of Israel in chapter 14, as he says that cursed is the man who eats any food until evening, before I have taken vengeance on my enemies. For these reasons, and several more, in chapter 16, we find God appointing a new king over the Israelites, a man by the name of David. In chapter 17, we find another very famous passage, the account of David and Goliath. David faces off against the Philistine champion Goliath, and with God at his side, is able to bring down the giant. For this reason, the people of Israel find favor with David, and this causes jealousy to grow within Saul. In chapter 19, Saul begins to persecute David, trying to kill him so that the people will once again find favor in him alone. His rage grows so intense that in chapter 22, he kills Ahimelech, a priest, and the rest of his household because they had simply helped David. David, however, proves himself to be a better man than his pursuer, and in chapters 24 and 26, actually spares Saul's life when he has the opportunity to end it. Things begin going south for Saul, however, in chapter 27, when David allies with the Philistines to make war with Saul's army. Saul speaks with the spirit of Samuel, who died in chapter 27, and Samuel informs him that the Lord has departed from his side. And this is proven in chapter 31. The Philistines, after rejecting David in chapter 29, battle with the Israelites and kill them as they chase them up Mount Gilboa. Saul's sons are all killed in the battle, and Saul himself is wounded by arrows. Saul, not willing to be killed by the uncircumcised Philistines, decides to fall on his sword and end his own life, therefore allowing a new reign, the reign of King David, to finally take place. But that's a story for another day.